Shalom Israel. First and foremost, want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Kakadash, that one of the apostles and else great millstone for teaching us his truth, peace, and blessings to the whole collective Israel, and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the heavenly ancient Hebrew. Ba'Shem is his name. Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back on lesson, and today you're going to go to these Walmarts going to be transformed into these FEMA camps. As you are seeing, the many closures of these Walmarts that are taking place all over the United States, and the direction that this is going to lead up to. As you see, they're giving excuses and planting the seeds of why these Walmarts are being taken down and are closing, saying it's because they're losing money, too many people are stealing this and that, which is nothing but a front in order to really push their actual agenda, which is once again transforming these Walmarts into martial law facilities. Walmart being a play on words, just switch it around, martial law. What do you think that's speaking of? You also see many videos come out in the past of a lot of Walmarts are being for lack of better words, renovated, or certain things going on inside of Walmart. Just these different things devils are trying to do and have been planning to do, especially as we're getting closer and closer to the last days. So I do want to dive into a few quick articles and get one quick video just to go into how these things are going to be used as these, martial law facilities or these FEMA camps. Because people are going to hear us say these things and look at us like we're conspiracy theorists. It's not possible. They're not able to do that. You had years back how they used it as a pretty much a facility to hold, so-called immigrants. Look at this. This is over 4 years ago. So 1,400 plus immigrant boys are being housed in a former Walmart. As you see that word former too. So you're going to see a lot of these closed down former Walmarts being turned into these martial law facilities, man. These FEMA camps or concentration camps, I should say. So this is another example or a receipt to show that these devils are going to be using these things for, or how they're going to be using these things for. Just I saw that and feel like that was a good point to use for the lesson. People are going to say, they can't use, Walmart to hold people to do this and do that. Come on, man. As the Walmart store closures in Chicago highlight the challenges of urban big box retail. And you see them using the excuse of, they're losing money and all these different things, yet they have, 10 plus, 15 plus Walmarts, built in one city, Come on, man. You have tons of, cameras being implanted in these Walmarts. What do you think they would use those cameras to see who's stealing, to see who's doing this and that? Come on. Once they're not but a front in order to really push their true agenda, turning these Walmarts into the facilities that they are, going to use. Once again, Walmart being a play on words, martial law. I mean, it can't get any clearer than that, man. And we'll dive into scriptures and a few other articles that I got. Going to years back, you had tons of guillotines that were bought. Even tons of plastic coffins were bought. So these devils have been planning to do these things for a while now, and have gradually been building up to that point. Once no coincidence that you see over 10 plus, 7 plus Walmarts located in one city or just, many different areas, And which then they're using the excuse of them losing money, that's why they're closing down. And that's ultimately not an excuse, man. As I mentioned, they have, over, 10 plus Walmarts located in just one city, man. And to, be able to have that many stores, I guess what you need to have money. Guess what? They have money, man. $1 billion plus company. On Sunday, Walmart will close half of its stores in the city of Chicago. The retailer said that collectively, its stores in America's third largest city are not profitable, with annual losses that have nearly doubled in the past 5 years. And I do not believe that for a second. Walmart is like your go-to, supermarket where you get pretty much your daily necessities, or your needs. You got toilet paper, you got TVs, you got food, you got video games, pretty much everything that you need in one store. So to say that they're losing out on money and it's not profitable is a complete and utter lie. Walmart closed stores earlier this year in several other cities, including Albuquerque, Washington, D.C., and Portland, Oregon. Because, also, what other store are you going to other than, Walmart? Of course, there are other stores, that people go to, but, Walmart is like one of the main, common stores that people goes to. That's fine. That's like your go-to store. Go a little bit down and say, well, 90% Americans live within 10 miles of one of its stores. CB Insights analyst Laura Kennedy said the Walmart Foundation at home base has never been in cities. She said a lot of customers go to Walmart for groceries, and the company is hoping they'll stay to pick up other things like twinkle lights, scented candles, or even a sloth mask. So showing you the variety of items that they have that people also go to Walmart to get. So to say they're losing out money is just a blatant lie. And we're speaking of Esau Edom here, going back to Psalm 55:21, Psalm 58:3, how this devil is a natural born liar and how he's not to be trusted. The scripture going to 2 Ezra 15:17, how a man should desire to go to a city should not be able. Start seeing these devils, start to usher in and push towards, those lockdowns, shutting this place down and having full control. And they're especially once going to be using these Walmarts, those that are being shut down, and turn them into these, martial law facilities, to hold people. I just got that quick little video title that I had on the YouTube page right here. 1,400 plus immigrants, boys are being housed in a former Walmart. Right? I mean, there you go. So to say that the Walmarts are not going to be used for these things, I mean, come on. Now let's get a few more of these articles that I have. Two quick articles, kind of old, but I want to get these to also push the point across of these, devil's plans and how they have been wanting and planning to do these things for a while now. Because no coincidence that you see tons of these coffins being bought, and this was years ago. Let's read a quick article. As Obama quietly orders millions of disposable coffins. The Obama administration has not ordered $1 billion worth of disposable coffins for use with FEMA camps, damage control. Of course, you gotta be careful of what you are obviously reading and looking into. Of course, you're gonna have a lot of these devils try to so-called fact check, which they also will put on your videos to try to make it seem like you're crazy or the things that you've been saying they are complete lies, when in reality they're the ones lying, man. Trying to cover their tracks, trying to hide the things that they're doing, but you're not able to. You're being exposed, man. You have many videos coming out of people recording these Walmarts that are being shut down, being renovated. You have tarps pretty much covering everything, So they've been planning to do these things for a while now. And this is going back to year 2020 right here. And of course, another fact check, but it says fake claim about U.S. purchase of 30,000 guillotines has circulated for years. And you have tons of guillotines being bought, and ultimately this would be, come defaced. 1207. You're seeing tons of these guillotines that are being bought, and ultimately you have many brothers that may be faced with, that guillotine. Because they're going to be, pushing out these restrictions, these mandates, and forcing, a lot of our people's hands, and pushing to the corner to where you will be forced to make a choice, especially when you're thrown to these FEMA camps. And if you want to live a so-called normal life, if you want to, go out and do the normal things that you used to do, it's going to come at a price. So you need to take that MOTB, which is going to be that CHIP, that RFID, And if you don't, guess what? You're going to be faced with that guillotine, man. That's why you got to know what you signed up for. So our scripture going to Revelation 2:10. Be thou faithful unto death, and I shall give thee a crown of life. Now, a little bit more of this, and we'll just dive into the rest of the scriptures to close out the lesson. As for years, a claim has circulated online about guillotines making a comeback in the U.S., purchasing 30,000 of them. Social media's post site, no sources stating that not only did the government buy 30,000 guillotines, but Congress lobbied for and approved them. Post also don't say the word government requires 30,000 guillotines. But it's damage control, trying to, once again push the, doubt into your mind that, you're crazy for thinking this, all that. Second Ezra 15 and 15 to 17, as when I kind of recall the 17th verse. Now it says, for the sword and the destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. Now you're going to start seeing these civil wars breaking out, race wars taking place. As you've already seen the sedition among men, you have people fighting amongst each other. And these are the type of reactions that these devils especially want in order to be justified when they come down with that great wrath and justify their actions of, shooting people down and establishing, martial law when things get, too hectic. Because even had when, the BLM protests, you had, pre-placed bricks. You had, agents pretty much in the midst of the crowds, breaking and trashing things to try to incite, riots and all that. So you're going to see how these things will work towards these devil's plan and his agenda in order to ultimately have full control. Go into, order out of chaos. These devils causing all these problems, all this commotion, and swoops in with this so-called solution to solve these problems that they ultimately started. Verse 16, for there should be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. So you see many protests and riots taking place pretty much all over the world. You see over there in Paris, Brazil, and many other places. And those are a few examples of what's to come over here to Babylon the Great, aka America. Read it from top one more time. For there should be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, going to the people that are in power, that are in authority, dealing with your mayors, your presidents, and all that. And the course of the action shall stand in their power. Verse 17, main point, as I mentioned earlier, a man shall desire to go into his city and shall not be able. So they start shutting this place down, implementing curfews, doing all these different things. And if you want to live a so-called normal life and, seek towards, so-called normalcy, there's going to come, it's going to come with a price. You're going to need to make a choice. You're going to bow down and take that MOTB, that charagma, or you're going to stand boldly for Yahweh Bashim Shai, and be ready to take that guillotine. These are the things that you got to be mentally and spiritually, prepared for, man. Because you will have many of our people that's within this truth that's going to bend the knee and crack on that pressure that's going to be applied. That's why we got to continue to pray Yahweh Bashim Shai have mercy upon us and give us the strength and the spirit to endure and to deny these things, man. Because it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. We're in the time of our trouble, man. And it's not going to be easy. You can just imagine it. It's one thing to speak on it, but it's going to be a whole nother story when you're actually in the midst of it, man. And that's where Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to separate his men, from the boys. The people that he's dealing with and people who he's not. Read verse 17 one more time. A man shall desire to go to his city, shall not be able. And I believe you had over there in New York, when those Thanksgiving, they had those checkpoints set up to where you needed to show if you've been, tested and if you were negative or not to be able to enter, Just another example of them, conditioning and slowly getting the people used to these, these systems and things that they have in place. Now let's get into a few more scriptures, Revelations 2 and 10. One of the main scripts also, because it's what we're going to be faced with, man. It said, fear none of the things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast you into prison, into these jails, these FEMA camps, And that's why you especially see them turning these, Walmarts, or these Mart laws, should say, into those, concentration camps or these FEMA camps in order to throw people into, because as you have these prisons, these jails pretty much filled up all the time. That's why you're also going to have them, start cleaning out these Walmarts and using them as these facilities that they throw people into, As you already see, the big aisles that they have, all the cameras that they have in the store. So it's completely absurd that they say that they're losing out on money and all these different things. It's ultimately nothing but an excuse, man. You can go to your Walmart and see how many cameras that they have, man. You pretty much at every aisle, Come on. Now, as you behold, the devil shall cast you into prison. watching these jails, FEMA camps, and all that. Because you're going to have brothers that's going to be thrown into these things, because these devils will come for us. And watching what we also got to be prepared for, man. Because us denying and not bowing down to this beast system, we're going to be faced with death, man. We're going to be tried. Our faith is going to be put on the line, literally. Fear none of the things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days, so going to a certain period of time. Maybe even less than that. Be thou faithful unto death, and I'll give thee a crown of life. We got to remain faithful and fully believe in Yahweh B'Shem Mashai to take care of us, to protect us. And you best believe it, man. Yahweh B'Shem Mashai is going to defend and protect his men in the midst of all this chaos, his elect. And we hope and pray that we're of that number. Because Yahweh B'Shem Mashai also is going to be performing these great miracles, man. For those that believe, which is, once again, his elect. Bestowing power upon them. That spiritual power. Lifting that stand against our enemy. Having the angels of the Lord protect us. And whatever the case may be, nothing is impossible for Yahweh B'Shem Mashai. So we have nothing to fear. You have many other examples in the scriptures of angels, freeing the prophets, from prisons. Let's get another scripture. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Another scripture came to mind. Now it said, "Let Satan should avenge us, for we are not ignorant of read one more time, Salakia. Let Satan should avenge us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." So we see what this devil's playing at, and how he has slowly but surely, gradually building, towards, his true goals, as you've been seeing in the movies, the cartoons, and TV shows, him throwing his future plans and things that he has been wanting to do for a while now. And now you're starting to see him put it into action, put it into play, but once again, Yahweh B'Shem Mashai is not going to allow this devil to fully get away with his plans and do what he wants. As scripture also going to how the Lord has set bounds that he cannot pass. We got a few more scriptures, and we'll just shut down from there. Jeremiah 30:7. As I mentioned earlier, we're heading some very evil and scary times, man. The time of our trouble. Now it says the last day is great, so that none is like it. We're in times we have never seen before throughout history. Showing how crazy and bad it's really going to get, man. But as well as how great these miracles that Yahweh B'Shem Mashai is going to perform also. The greater the judgments, the greater the miracles. Excuse me. Now it said the last day is great, so that none is like it, even in times of Jacob's trouble. And as you know, Jacob got his name changed to Israel, so showing you, speaking of the Israelites. Now it says, but he shall be saved out of it. So Yahweh B'Shem Mashai is going to defend and protect his men, which is his elect. That's who Yahweh B'Shem Mashai is dealing with, and who is sending his son to redeem and deliver. But going back to Jacob's trouble, specifically 2/3 of our wicked people, those that don't repent, those that want to take heed, those that want to continue to lollygag and play around and not seek after Yahweh B'Shem Mashai, especially with everything that's going on. You're to get what's coming to you. But those that are in this faith and this truth will be tried and will be tested also. Going to that furnace of adversity. Now let's get a second Ezra, no scripture down here. I got down to that point. Wait a minute. This is 2nd Ezra 16:18. Now it says the beginning of sorrows and great mourning is the beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? So also going to show this the magnitude of just how bad and terrible it's really going to get. Once again, we're heading to times we have never seen before throughout history. These things are going to be on a completely different level. Literally. We have from top one time, 2nd Ezra 16:18. Once again, to add on to that point, Jeremiah 37. I could also get Matthew 24, the 21st verse. Going to, add on to that point of the times that we are coming into. So we'll probably get that after this. The beginning of sorrow and great mourning. The beginning of sorrow and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. You're seeing famines brewing. You're seeing, egg farms being burned. You had a recent video come out, which I still need to watch, from the brother, of 18,000 cows pretty much being blown to bits. So you see how he's always trying to, force a famine, which may make a lesson going into. beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Now let's get a few more scriptures. Isaiah 10:1, another great scripture. Warn them that decree and righteous decrees and that right grievances which they have prescribed, going to these draconian and harsh like laws that these devils are implementing and will be implementing, especially in these last days, to force your hand. I have another scripture after this. I do want to get second 16 and do it after that, because they're going to have them start to implement things to where if you want to live a so-called life of normalcy, go out and do things that you used to do without a hitch, it's going to come at a price. They're going to put it behind a paywall, just as you see in these video games, for example, to where if you want to level up or progress, you need to pay for that membership or that season pass. But guess what? For you to live your so-called normal life and go out and to do basic things, it's going to come at a price, and you need to take that C-hip, to be released from those FEMA camps, to be released from those jail cells. Hey, go and take the C-hip, man. And we are warning you through the Spirit prayer, Yahweh Shai, to not take it. Do not take it, or else you will be destroyed. Simple as that. Now let's get 2 Ezra 16 and 68 verse. Now it says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you." Being kindled, pretty much, going to the fire already started. It's pretty much, starting to, ramp up. I said, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle." So you're gonna have these devils come for us. That's why it's also going to, be as a pilgrim upon the earth. But as we read earlier in Revelations 2 and 10, be thou faithful unto death. How we should be, thrown into these prisons, these jails to be tried. Have tribulation 10 days. Now, saying they should be taken, or it's like they shall take away certain of you. So you're gonna have, maybe certain brothers, be thrown to those FEMA camps, whatever the case may be. But you have faith and trust in Yahweh Shai. Because once the Lord lifts that standard against our enemy and bestows power upon his men, these devils will stand no chance. And if brothers do pass on this side, because you will have certain members of the elect pass on this side and be headed, by that way, that guillotine, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai, will be risen back up, as it's going to. They're going to be risen back up and come back first. Now it says, one more time from the top, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle." And you being idle means you're staying in one spot. You're not, moving. You're standing still. With things offered unto idols. Verse 69. "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision." So you're going to be offered, chances of, getting out of that jail cell. You escaping that FEMA camp. But guess what? It doesn't come at a price. Them offering those idols unto you, which can be that MOTB, that C-hip. And if you do take them, guess what? You get to go out and party and do these basic things that you want to do. But if you don't, you better sit your butt down. But these are things that's coming, man, and things that we ultimately got to be prepared for, because we're going to be persecuted for, not bowing down to this beast system. For saying boldly for Yahweh Shai, we're to be hated. And we're even going to be faced with death, man. That's why we, also pray Yahweh Shai will keep his spirit upon us and give us strength in the spirit to, once again, endure and to, stand boldly for these days, man. It's not going to be easy once again. Now, verse 69 to finish this off, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach." So those that do take it, those that do bend the knee, those that do crack under the pressure, you will be destroyed. You're going to be in derision and in reproach, as it says right here. As it's mentioned in Isaiah 30 and 1 through 3, how the trust and shout of Egypt shall be your shame and your confusion. So those that, when you put your faith and trust in these devils, take the C-hip, take the MOTB, thinking that you're going to be exempt from the things that was going to do to you, you're crazy. And hey, as it says right here one more time, And they that consent unto them, those that do take it, and those that do bend the knee and bow down, shall be had in derision and reproach and trodden underfoot. You're going to be destroyed. Verse 70 also, for there should be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So you're also going to have these doubles come for us. I have too much scriptures, and I don't want to, drag this out any longer, shut this down. Let's get, Here, Revelation 20, as I mentioned, going to the beheading. Because you will have certain members of the elect that will pass on this side, but tongue twister, but will be risen back up. And I have full faith in that. That says right here. And I saw thrones, and that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. That's also cut to the people that say, what if I take it in my left hand, since it's right hand? Either hand you take it in, or in your forehead, you will be destroyed. And I saw thrones that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast nor his image, neither had received the mark upon their forehead or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. Because scripture going to book of 2 Thessalonians. Let's get this quick. It's 4 and 16, which I was thinking is like 4 and 9. Now it says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead in the Mashiach shall rise first. Those that are passed on this side, done with the elect, they'll be risen back up. And those that have not passed on this side, as Scripture also mentioned in 1 Corinthians 15, be joined up together with them in the clouds. You're about to see right here. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, and with those chariots, those so-called UFOs, to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. So when is that point across right there? Now let's get Psalm 64, and we'll shut down Ecclesiastes 2 and 5. This is Psalm 64 and 2. Now it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And as you know, going to Psalms 91, Yahweh Bashem shall be in that hedge, being that refuge, our protector, man. The Lord shall protect us and defend us during these times, man. And, from our enemy. And we have full faith and, trust in Yahweh Bashem Shai to do so. Though you may have, certain members of the elect, pass inside, guess what? They'll be risen back up and come back in those new bodies. And that's an honorable way to go out, man. Dying within his faith, standing boldly for Yahweh Bashem Shai. But Ecclesiastes 2 and 5, for gold is tried in the fire, and the acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. And where's that gold that's going to be tried in the midst of that fire, dealing with these, afflictions, man? We're going to be tested and we're going to be tried. And we hope and pray that we're the number of all those men to, stand boldly for you, or to stand boldly for the Lord in those days, remaining stiff in the faith. But pretty much the main point already. I don't make this longer than it should be, but Lord's Word got the point across, and it was edifying. I do want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh Bashem Shai, Bashem Kakadash, that was the apostles and else great millstone for teaching this truth, peace and blessings to the whole collective Israel. Shalom.